Aloha Friday. Today has been a whirlwind day, and also a grounded day because I think I'm finally, well, not finally, but I'm in a really fun phase of getting into my stride, no matter knowing that each day will bring a lot of colorful chaos. This day started with a crisis looking for Camden's 10th tooth that fell out that was missing, and she didn't know when it fell out or that she was nervous about it hurting. It's one of her bottom teeth. And it had actually been kind of like a purple violaceous hue before it fell out, almost like the blood supply and it was compromised, or the permanent tooth was pushing on it to come up and out. Anyway, it fell out obviously without much fanfare and it cannot be found. And so the tooth fairy just also looked extensively for it, and could not locate it. And so um, she even went through like the vacuum fairy dust that came from while we were at church, and the vacuum was going around the house. So extensive looking, and no worries. The tooth fairy carries little pieces of gold and silver, well, gold and white flecked sparkle candles that are used for just this occasion in Keiki, who cannot produce their physical tooth. And we had a great church tonight, and our church is about to start an all church series that they do every fall, where in this one we're going to actually go in person in church to the Bible study, and that'll be fun. It's about practicing the way and um, modeling our life after Christ, like we're called to do, but really in a practical way, thinking about what that means and how to be true disciples and chosen mentees, of the greatest mentor that we could ever fathom. So I'm excited to kind of drop into that Aloha and see what that's about. And then today, I'm always triaging a lot, but I had a really good creative flow and momentum of, I mean, I'm the marketing, right? I'm the book writer, the author, the life coach, and uh, talent recruiter for the illustrators. And I've had two phenomenal soul sisters come out of the illustrating process, with Maddie in Oceans of Aloha and Tiara most recently in Lahaina. And I'm so grateful for that. And then I am also the book editor, multiple versions, the book designer as a layout of a whole, and the book publisher with my LLC, Embrace Your Mana, and then loading it alongside my recruited technology talent, JD, onto the platforms Amazon, KDP, and Barnes and Noble Press, and which each both have different specifications. And so for both my books, there's been 4 different versions, actually 5 different versions. So I have 10 versions of the books, because for each book, there's paperback Amazon, paperback Barnes and Noble, hardcover Amazon, hardcover Barnes and Noble, and an ebook version on Kindle, so that it can cross international lines and just be easily accessible for people that don't want a physical book or couldn't procure a physical book without incurring significant shipping costs. And so today I rode some good momentum on a party wave in my mind of sharing the recent launch of the Aina that is Lahaina. And it's been fascinating for me because I normally, well, not normally, this is only my second book launch, but think about, okay, I got to get a social media campaign and post going. And I do enjoy sharing on social media. And I do enjoy and feel like there is fruitfulness on social media. But in listening to the divine nudges with this, I really reached out much more grassroots locally in our community. And my illustrator, luckily and thankfully, and of course she did. She posted some incredible posts that I collaborated on. And one of them has been a behind the scenes drawing, and the other one was sharing a photo of the two of us with our finished product to help the momentum. But I've focused more so far on grassroots and connections that I have in our community and sharing it intimately in our community, because that's, the book was meant to be part of the nonlinear and is meant to be part of the nonlinear healing path for Lahaina, and planting back portions of the proceeds intentionally in the community. And I've shared it with, our chosen Ohana family and friends here and beyond the reef. And just truly surrendered because I've gotten a consistent knowledge spiritually that, what I create in Keakua's image from the gifts that I've been given, um, when it leaves me, this final product that I've poured myself into over the past year, lots of after bedtime all-nighters, like right now, it doesn't belong to me anymore. And it's meant to maybe it never really belonged to me, right? It's an idea that flowed through me, and I listened to the calling, listened to the nudge, and allowed it to flow through me as a conduit. Um, and as a conduit for Christ and healing and love and mercy. It flowed out, it left, it's out there. And I'm excited to see how that, and so now in the marketing, as the marketing promotional person, I look at it more like um, offering the vibes of this book. And if it serves the people that I invite to read it or check it out, then they will. And it's really, truly, that's the vibe that I bring into these interactions, these emails, these sometimes physical meetups. And it feels very freeing to release any kind of requirement for feedback or approval or, acceptance, that none of that is up to me. And it truly is irrelevant to like the path for the book, right? It's just meant for me to offer and to fly it out there and invite people on the party wave to it. And it will come in their timing if it aligns for them. And so today I did a bunch of offering and alongside us schooling, and we're deep into second grade, Camden and I love it. I love teaching her and watching her handwriting get more refined and poised. And her spelling is just incredible. We're writing stories. She's learning, which is so fun as the author mommy. We wrote a story the other night about a lost kitty that she made up, a beginning, middle, and end, and she added all these cool details to the story. I'm grateful for the curriculum that we use, the good and the beautiful. It's truly like stunning visually and also so empowering as a teacher. And then I can add my own flair. And I just love watching her brain evolve and work through mathematics. And she's learning addition with like carrying the one, tons of like, she's really come like blowing me away with her calendar knowledge and telling time. Um, yeah, so it's just a joy. And then in science, we're doing a sparks and stars unit, which we've been learning about electricity and atoms and what makes up an atom. And the inner scientist in me loves talking to them about protons and neutrons and electrons flying around and electrons moving from one atom to the next and creating creating electricity through the exchange of charges. And we have had fun with gravity and the different states of matter. And I'm just having a blast. We're going to move on to like space stuff eventually. And Cruz loves it. Cruz is crushing kindergarten math. And as a new 5-year-old, I just knew he was ready for more math because he just loves math. And he has a doodle book for handwriting, and today he learned to write his name. He could have probably before, but it was just today he chose to do it. And he wrote it repeatedly, and it was so fun to see him light up and run outside to show JD because he had been in the backyard watering the first time he did it. Cord slept 12 hours last night without waking up, which for her is really remarkable. And I'm just so glad she relinquished to that rest, and she just is such a joy. Right now she's in her big book phase, and I couldn't be more proud and excited because we read to her so much. But she loves to go run and grab books and then, come toddling over to me, and she basically like is falling over, like handing me a book and then trying to maneuver herself to turn around and beep beep back up and like sit down in my lap and then wants to turn the pages and oftentimes is ready to move on to the next book before we're like 2 pages in. But it's so fun. And she waves and says hi, like to the book and the characters. And we have some flip books that I've gotten her from the library. She's a Halloween one where she said hi to the little vampire and um little ghost and little spider, little witch. And at the end, there's like a little mirror where you can see yourself. And it's the best. And she reads with Camden and Cruz too. And right now we just have a litany of library books everywhere that I reorganize every day. But it's my joy, it's my honor. I am deep into the Sophie Mouse books with Camden. I think we've read 18 of the 20 books that there are. And I love them truly so much. She falls asleep every night, and then I just finish the story because I want to know like what baked good Lily Mouse is making, because they're mouth watering every time they describe her like maple, pancakes or her cranberry scones or whatever she's making. And I just love them. I adore like the woodland creatures and the whole whimsical series of it. So I'm having the best time. And then I have my day one mama mentality every day where I'm moving my body, lifting weights, picking up heavier weights than I have been, reading the Bible and letting it come alive for me, journaling, and then sitting down and speaking life into my story. And today was what's coming out is just what happened today on this Aloha Friday. Um, and did some dream forward with traveling and scheming, manifesting with JD about our surrendering to our Hale process that we're going through, real estate process, that I think will be fun to download sometime. Oh, it was a beautiful Aloha Friday. I wanted to bike to church, but my back tire on our e-bikes was really flat the other day and not holding air well. I think the slime might be working its way through, but gotta check tomorrow. So we drove and we got the taco truck. We love the Horritos taco truck that comes to our church on Friday nights because we know the owner and he's just a super incredible human that we see him all the time. His work with our next door neighbor. And so the past few, we usually do it all the time, getting quesadillas for Camden and Cruz, but JD and I have recently joined in getting like big plate of nachos for dinner. And we had communion today, and I adore doing it with everyone. I've always felt like, Jesus says in the Bible that children are the kingdom of God, and like through them we see the eyes of God. And so it's always felt appropriate to me as a mom to include Camden and Cruz and Cord in communion, teaching them very early on, like what the breaking of the bread and his body and the blood that he poured out for us and what the significance of that. And so we have communion, and I always get extras and keep it for them. And we just do it as a family once I pick them up from children's church, and pouring the little grape juice in for Cord that she was slurping down tonight. And I barely got my fingers out. Actually, I didn't before she was like chomping down on the little wafer. Is everything. And yeah, we're chasing her around, playing tagging and tagging out JD and I. And I got the chance to share my book, The Inez Lahaina, at church tonight with some of the children's church members and just people I love and the community that we've built there. And I dropped it off to one of our dearest chosen Ohana on our island that I actually met in residency, getting to be the physician to this most inspiring little girl, who's really not so little anymore. I saw her yesterday, and she's getting so tall and wise. She's always been so wise and such a teacher. So it was a beautiful day, and then came home, and JD had a little fire for them in the backyard, and they had some marshmallows, and I watched, and I hopped on the bike and rode, and then cooled down in Chicago. I like to do these scenic rides too. And then it was a late night of sorting library books that need to go back tomorrow, and they want to do the Home Depot workshop, Keiki workshop tomorrow. We love going to the children's workshops. They have all these little badges on their orange aprons, like, hi, my name is Camden, hi, my name is Cruz. And I love and adore that Home Depot just like clears out their lumber aisle, sets these super long tables, throws down the paper on top of it, and has all the supplies and tomorrow, I think, is like building a fire rescue truck, and they have a different theme every month. And um, just so grateful for the way community, I think this is a nationwide thing though, moves their energy for Keiki and the Keiki and all of us and creates this opportunity. So yeah, winding down tonight with deep gratitude and that juxtaposition I feel of both like this divine restlessness to continue to lean further into my gifts, get uncomfortable, be vulnerable, tell my story, commit to the things with a day one mentality, fresh every day, moving my body, doing the spiritual gym, writing, being in the word, praying, and surrendering to his God's plan and will for my life. Continuing to write, continuing to explore all the artistic vibes that have always flowed through me. And not that I suppressed before, but that I was often too distracted, too tired, too exhausted with other paths that I had chosen and ways that I was serving. But now I've kind of gotten out of the way of those to allow my inner artist to really flourish. And so every day, living more and more into that and just heeding the divine nudges as they come, reaching out to people, speaking my truth and speaking here. So Aloha Friday to me and Aloha Friday to all. And it is now Aloha Saturday, but coming in to drop these vibes from Friday off.